Welcome to Well, That Just Happened. I'm your host, Cody Spence.
And I'm your co-host, Mark Hawk.
This is a podcast about, do you want to tell them, Mark?
Yeah, so this is a podcast that takes a look at news stories from around the world.
Some that shock us, some that have us asking what just happened, and some that we just found interesting.
So if you like the show, please subscribe and leave a review.
We're on YouTube and any other podcast platform.
And with that being said, all that's left is, let's see what's happening this season. Okay, so this week I got some more kind of out there stories a little bit. Not all of them are as kind of messed up as the ones last week, but there are a couple. All right, so this one, Maine police seized powder they thought was heroin. Turns out it was human remains.
What?
Get this, a guy got pulled over and they searched his glove box and they found powder and they thought it was drugs. I mean, because come on, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
you find powder in a glove box, you think it's Coke, heroin,
Meth,
something. Yeah. So they test it, find out it's not drugs, it's the remains of his father.
What was he doing with his father?
He just, he
Take
rides
Daddy
around.
for one last road trip? What?
I mean, it's where he kept the remains of his dad. So, the guy was 31. And, he was driving, got pulled over, and then they found the substance, thought it was drugs, and, then they find out it's human remains. Like,
Was his dad cremated? I guess that's my big thing.
Well, see, when I was reading it, the first thing, I'm like, oh, man, like...
I'm thinking he chopped somebody up and burned him.
That's what I'm thinking. But, he, left the roadway and struck a pole, so obviously you think DUI, things like that.
Yeah.
And then, so when they searched, they're like, oh, he's under the influence of drugs. And then, it just turned out to be his dead dad in his glove box.
No, that's nice and innocent. It's weird, but it's not that bad.
I mean, the thing is, okay, have you ever had someone cremated?
No.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Oh, I figured it would be.
It's more expensive to die than to live.
Yeah, well, that's why your life insurance pretty much pays for your funeral. That's why they tell you to get it.
You know how many people don't think about life insurance? And setting their families up for something happens to them? Like, it's crazy. Yeah, life insurance is actually one of the most expensive,
Well, it's because a lot of people don't think about it, because a lot of the times we're just like, oh, yeah, we're invincible, or it's not going to happen to me,
I mean, how many people in their 20s think, I might die next week, so I'm going to go ahead and...
I know for me, when I was in my 20s, I never once, if it wasn't for the job that I have, I never would have had life insurance. It's in my 20s, it's not something that would have registered in my mind.
I never thought of it either.
It was just
I think it's something that not a lot of people think of, because...
But then, once my wife and I, we had kids, it was like, okay, I got to make sure they're taken care of, because anything can happen.
Well, that's the thing. When people say, oh, you might get diabetes, or you might do this because of the way you eat and drink. I don't care. You can walk out and get hit by a bus tomorrow. Nothing is guaranteed. So eat, drink, have sex, do whatever you want to do, because it doesn't mean you're going to live forever if you don't.
As Gabriel Iglesias says, I don't want to die tomorrow knowing I could have had a piece of cake today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one I have is, they call it the Enumclaw horse sex case.
What?
Okay. Here's the deal. There was a series of incidents in 2005 involving Kenneth Pinion, an engineer who worked for Boeing and resided in Gig Harbor, Washington, and James Michael Tate, a truck driver, and another unidentified man, that filmed and distributed, they call it zoophilic sex tapes.
Oh, no.
So what would happen is they would film Pinion receiving anal sex from a horse with the alias of Mr. Hands, and after engaging in this activity on multiple occasions over an unknown span of time, Pinion received fatal internal injuries in one such incident and died.
Wow.
And because of this, they passed a bill in Washington prohibiting both sex with animals and the videotaping of such an act, And under current Washington law, bestiality is now a Class C felony, punishable with up to 5 years in prison.
Why does it have to be a law to know to not do that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can look at a damn horse and be like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Oops. Yeah, I don't think that you can. Yeah, I don't know. If I look at a horse, I'm like, no. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with that.
No, tickle your belly button from the inside.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Or
like,
puncture a lung.
I mean, yeah. But this is the second story now we've had where having sex with an animal has led to death. Do you remember that lady that got the camel?
Yeah.
Her to death. And yeah, I mean, this guy, though, I mean, I guess she didn't initiate that one, but this guy was like, yeah, I'm going to take it. And they said multiple times, and they videotaped it.
I don't even know what really to say with that one. Like, that's the one where I'm just like, what just happened? Like, what are you saying? Because the alias, too. The Mr. Hand. Yeah, like, what is that?
Yeah, okay, that's what I don't get. If you're having anal sex with a horse, how do you get the name Mr. Hands?
He's handsy? I don't know.
I mean, unless he's like grabbing the horsey's legs and like, let's get it. I don't know.
Good at stroking it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't understand it either. Like, it. like how do you even get the horse in the mood for that?
See, there's so many questions I have, but I'm trying not to.
Obviously, it's not going to go into that much detail of like what they did to get the horse initiated.
They had to have done something. Whether they give it some kind of what do they call that? Aphrodisiac or something to get the horse in the mood, or.
Because I can't imagine a guy just pulled down his pants, bent over, and the horse was like, "Yep." You know, it doesn't make sense to me on that note.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened that made them want to do that.
You know, how does it even fit? I mean, honestly, if you think about it, your starfish is about that big. You know what I'm saying? And you got a horse that's about that big.
Yeah, I don't know why you look at that and say, I think that's a good idea.
No.
You know? And it's not just the animal thing. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand
I just as we're talking about it, in my mind, I had like a weird, like a Beavis and Butthead kind of like thing pop back in my head where like the guy's bent over, grabs his ass cheeks and is like, come here to me.
I mean, wow.
I don't know.
You know, a horse isn't gonna like. They're not a person. You can't be like, okay, you need to back off some.
Yeah.
You know, they're a horse. They're just gonna go for it.
They hit you with one of them hooves, you're done.
Exactly. And if you try to stop them from doing that, I imagine that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Okay, that was a messed up. All right, this one's messed up too.
No, right?
All right, a woman is killed and man loses legs after having sex on train tracks. So, all right, this couple was on their way back from a party at a friend's house, and of course, alcohol was involved. Mm-hmm. And I guess from the way they put it, was, you know, they couldn't control their passion, and had to just lay down and get it on the train tracks. And then,
wow,
I've never been that passionate where if I hear a train coming, I don't care if I'm in the middle, I'm about there. It's like, oh my god, I'm about to die. Like, I'm moving.
Yeah.
Like, it said the guy was 41 and the woman was in her 30s. Like, she was killed on the spot, and, you know, he lost his legs.
But what a story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it. Like, what, like I said, how do you get so into it that you don't hear a damn train coming?
I don't know, because you're gonna feel the tracks rumbling. You're gonna hear the freaking thing coming, and I'm sure they probably honked the horn.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that moment in Family Guy on the episode Lois has a stroke and Peter's like, almost done, almost done.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the case.
Maybe,
Like,
maybe.
he was like, please don't move. Like, I'm almost there. Then we can move. And then
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
Yeah. That would have to be traumatizing though.
Oh, yeah. I because they said she died on the spot. And, I mean, you lose your legs. Like, and
I feel like
them trains don't stop.
No. But I feel like it'd be a weird mixture between a half chub and tears anytime you're driving through town you see a train go by.
It's like, that was some of the best sex I ever had.
Yeah.
And then you look down until I lost my leg. Like, I don't know. I mean, it would suck though too, because his girlfriend died,
Yeah.
and I don't understand what is wrong with people. That
You had to finish.
I mean,
Maybe he's an extra competitive person, and he was like, "Oh, I bet I could beat the train."
I mean, well, they were drunk, so well, I'm not saying that's an excuse to stay till you die, but you probably thought I have more time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, I'm quick, I'll get out of the way, and then it's like, oh, never mind, that didn't happen.
One of the review mirror mentality. The objects in the mirror are closer than they seem.
I wonder if he looked up at that moment when she got hit and he lost his leg. Like, I don't know if you're alive, but I just came. Like, that impact was what did it.
Yeah. All right. So this week, the stories I have. The first one I want to talk about is: Have you ever graffitied anything?
You know what? Out of all the fucked up things I've ever done, yeah,
No.
not really a thing of mine.
Yeah, I never really got into it either. I mean, you go around town, you see people tag signs at the bridges or whatever. Let me just read the headline of what was graffitied. Legal action threatened against pothole penis painting safety campaigner in New Zealand. So they think they knew who it was, but the gist of what happened over in New Zealand, the roads are pretty bad. What somebody was doing was going around drawing a cock and balls like around the potholes. Like,
that's
a
kind of
pothole.
funny.
Yeah, like a pothole would be a circle, and then they would have another circle next to it. Then they would draw the shaft going to the next pothole and loop around.
You know what? That's a good way to get your damn city to fix the potholes if you don't want to see them penises all over the place.
Yeah, it's not like I mean, it's illegal, but it's not a bad idea. It definitely got the attention. So, like, a spokeswoman for the agency said that repairs they're planned, like, because of the
there
potholes.
you go. They did something, man. Who would have thought that's all it took?
And with that part that's gonna suck, which I find this part to me is kind of like insult to injury. Like, they're gonna make the culprit who's spray painting all the penises and the balls pay for all the road work.
Oh, that's some crap.
Yeah,
wait, pay for the potholes?
Oh, they're gonna be charged to
clean up the graffiti.
Yeah, to clean up the graffiti, but by doing the graffiti, I mean, they're gonna also take care of the potholes and crap too.
I mean, how much can it cost really to clean up the paint?
I don't know. I would guess it doesn't say it here. I was kind of hoping it would. But some of the other things he's doing is like I say they like I said, they think they know who it is, but they can't prove it yet. But they were also like labeling like the street signs, or not the street signs, like the miles per hour. Like, I guess one of them said like 100 kilometers or whatever, and he was like spray painted on there. This is too fast.
Trying to fix all the problems at once. You can't just focus on potholes.
No, but I mean that's cool to me in a way. He's like, it's like a weird discounted Batman.
I'm just saying, to me, if I'm a driver who has to drive on them roads every day with them potholes, I'm like, if you come forward and pay these fines, bro, I'm helping you out.
Yeah.
For helping me and everybody else out who has to drive on this crap every day.
Think of like truck drivers, semi-truck drivers and stuff. Every time you drive through town, you got all these potholes, and you're just like,
Oh, dude, can you imagine if we took paint and draw a penis from around every pothole in our freaking county?
Yeah. Well, see, that was one of the reasons why I liked this story, was because if we were gonna do that and go into town and just start marking places, like you're gonna have dicks kissing all over the streets.
Well, and you'd have to spend a lot of money on paint.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, our neighborhood or our area is crap when it comes to potholes.
You get a commercial account with Sherman Williams. All right. So next story I got. Have you ever had something just show up in your food that you didn't order?
Yes.
Like what?
Like onions.
Not like food.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Okay. If you had to guess, what would be one of the weirdest things to find?
Oh, dude, I've heard of stories where like fingernails or even toenail clippings have ended up in food. Which, oh my god, I would kill somebody or hurt them really bad.
I think for me, it would depend on when I find it. Like if I find it as I'm taking a bite into something, then yeah, someone's gonna pay. But if I just look down like, I'm gonna send it back. But I mean,
I'm just asking for a refund and I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because the next one might just be hidden better.
All right. So the headline I got is Pensacola woman claims she found a cigarette wrapped up in her taco.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a smoker, and that would just not be kosher.
No. Okay, so Pensacola woman, she's pissed. It came from Taco Bell.
What?
Yeah, that's cigarette came from Taco Bell. It was in on the 305th South Warrington Road, Taco Bell. She ordered the chalupa meal, which comes with a soft taco, and her name is Helsel. Said that she got home, she unwrapped the taco, and she found a moist cigarette in the shell.
Oh wow.
She had already fed some of the tacos to her infant daughter before she realized there was a cigarette in there. And
wow, hopefully there was just oh wait, she fed some of that taco to her infant daughter. Or a different one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She had already fed some of the tacos, so maybe it's just a different one.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than infant on any kind of high.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what is it? Like, you get a free cigarette with every taco? Maybe they're running a special.
Yeah. But pretty much the gist of what she said, she's like, I don't know if it was intentionally put there or somebody had it like in their ear and it fell down into the food, but she's like, I'm pissed. So they pretty much, she just reached out, she wanted a refund. And one of the things she did say, it's disgusting, she said, either that cigarette was put there intentionally or accidentally, but that's not the point. I fed some of that to my 1-year-old daughter. Okay, so she did feed that taco to her daughter. Oh, and then they went on the article that she's a non-smoker, and that was one thing that really upset her. Which, I mean, at that point, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter if you're a smoker or not. You don't feed.
Yeah, so, I mean,
you don't eat them anyway.
There's no legal action, really, that's going on. I just thought that was an interesting thing. Like, I never would have thought a cigarette would show up in my taco. Like, that would not have been something I would have thought of.
No. Like, okay, even if she's not a pothead, do you think she'd have made a bigger deal if weed was in her taco?
No, it would have made her happy.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, I guess it just depends on what ends up on your taco.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a little ecstasy in there or some better kind of drugs, then maybe you're not so upset. Like, because if you get like a $2 taco and you get like a $25 street drug on top of it, yeah, you're getting a discount.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way you gotta look at it. You
gotta throw out that positive vibe to it.
I mean, probably don't want your 1-year-old to eat it, but
No. Well, I mean, at least she saw it when she unwrapped it too, because like it's a whole different story or a different ball game to me. Is like if she took a bite and pulls it out of the inside, like the meat of the taco. Oh, dude, that would make me puke. I'd puke right there on the spot.
Oh yeah, I'd sue him. Well, I'm just saying, like certain things. I know this is Sue Happy World, but something like that, man. When it comes to food, you know how I am, man. I'm ready to kill someone anyway.
Yes, I do. All right. So one of the other stories that I have. Did you see a meme going around last year of a woman during like the quarantine? An older woman asking for beer.
No.
I didn't either. But the elderly woman who went viral for her sign. There's a picture right there. It was a meme. It's just an elderly woman holding up a Coors Light with a sign that says "I need more beer" with exclamation points during the quarantine. She passed away. She passed away celebrating her a few days after her 94th birthday.
I would have brought her some.
Oh hell yeah!
I see some person.
No, like people did. Like she got hooked up.
There you go, man. That's good people.
Yeah. You so I mean that's pretty much honestly that's just the article. I just thought it was very interesting.
Oh shit, she did go. Yeah,
she got hooked up. All Coors Light. People were sending her Coors Light left and right, and I mean her post it gained like 51,000 shares, 28,000 like reactions like on Facebook and stuff. I mean she's just happy. Her name was, I want to make sure I get the pronunciation right. Olive Bronce. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to get her pronunciation right. I fucked it up anyway.
Yeah, you're bad.
Cancel. But yeah, she ended up getting like it says 10 cases of beer were delivered to her. And she was just like a hardy old lady. She just.
Can you imagine if we just said need more beer? Somebody would just told us go get it.
Yeah. Nah, I'd have hooked her up. If it were me, I'd be like, the one thing when I saw that article, like I said, I didn't see this last year, but if I would have saw that, I'm like, that was me. I remember when things were gonna get shut down. I heard they were shutting down the beer distributor. I went hooked myself up. I wasn't going without.
Yeah,
I know you did too with like the liquor store.
Oh yeah, to what I ordered like a whole case of rum.
Yeah,
just when they shut it down for a little bit, that was wrong. Like
it's better times now, Mark.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like that was very traumatizing.
Imagine back in the Prohibition ages, though. I mean, we went like 2 weeks.
There was like moonshine runners and all that stuff. They weren't going without. I'm just saying, like they made it almost damn near impossible. I had to go to a different state to get my liquor when this shit started. Like I was very upset. Like I feel like the state should have paid my gas money. You know, it's. I don't understand it. Like, you want people to stay at home with their loved ones and then tell them you can't drink when you do it? Come on, man.
Come on, son. In our weekly wrap-up, we discuss some of our personal opinions and ideas. So let's see what we thought this week.
Okay. Okay, so I want to start out with the PSA. Do not have sex on train tracks. It will not end well for you, most of the time. I mean, if you live in like a small town like us and your train tracks ain't very busy, you'll probably be able to finish. But if you live in a busy place, don't do it. It isn't going to go well.
No. I do think that would have been very confusing. Just like I said, afterward, I don't know whether to be excited or feel sad.
Or, like, you know, you don't know, too, like, what they were doing at the time, like, because they were drunk. Like, what if dude's laying back and, like, he's out of it, and next thing you know, like, obviously your legs are gone, but you just feel this wet come at you. It's like, oh, she's a squirter. And it's just blood.
Yeah.
You know, you get excited and then sad, like, a minute
I feel like that'd sober you right up, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, alcohol goes in your blood, and you lose 2 limbs, and you start bleeding. All your alcohol's gone.
Which would suck.
Speaking of alcohol, you know, that woman, Olive. I hope I'm drinking beer when I'm 94. I hope to make it to 94.
I mean, if you're healthy, like, I mean, the lady is standing at the door holding a sign, "I need beer," with a beer in her hand.
And a big old smile.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you're healthy, making it to 94, I don't feel like it's a bad thing.
No,
like,
kudos.
Knowing for me, like, I'm going to have an oxygen tank in a wheelchair with a diaper on. Like, I don't know about making it to 94. It might not be the cutest sight, you know?
Mm.
Like, I still hope I'm a pervert at that age and, you know,
you will
rocking
be.
on, you know.
You will be. No, like, I don't know. I thought, like, I always thought that was cool with the woman and the sign. Like, during the quarantine, she couldn't go anywhere. But also, I thought it was cool as like a community. Like, people just hooked her up with their alcohol.
I feel like more people should have came together. Like, I do know some people that did that though. Like, you know, they would send like people they knew. Hey, like, I'm going out of state to get this because we can't get it here. Like, do you need something?
Mm.
And you know, they came together as alcoholics and bonded.
And that's the thing. You know, people will say there's no camaraderie anymore, or people are so selfish. But when it comes to a substance that's gonna alter your state of mind and just to, you know, level you out, get you what you need, people got you.
Well, I feel like that's what you need though, because yeah, when you're cooped up, you're quarantined in your house, and like you can only watch so much TV or play so many like games.
Yeah.
You need to keep your mind occupied. So I feel like the alcohol would help a lot in that situation.
Yeah.
Because they said there was a lot of suicides, a lot of bad things happened during that, and I feel like if you got a little bit of alcohol or weed or something to keep your mind off of the bullshit, it probably helped a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, initially when everything was going on, it just kind of like, you needed just something to take the edge off. Because it was every day something new was going on, or, you know, all that fear about your loved ones.
Yeah.
But, so on the, like, happier note, to kind of get off the downness of the COVID thing, Mr. Hands.
I was gonna go there next. Okay, so it just said that it was illegal in Washington to have sex and film.
I thought bestiality was illegal all.
See, that's what I thought. You know, and I don't know, like, what is that? 5-year sentence? It said, like,
yeah,
that's a decent amount of
Class
time.
C felony, I think.
Yeah, like that should be damn no.
Castration.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I don't know if that really works because he wasn't the one having sex with the horse. Well,
that's what I'm
saying.
He
wasn't penetrating the horse. He was getting mutilated by the horse.
It's not like it's the guy who had sex with his dog. I mean, this is the guy getting penetrated. I just don't get the obsession.
I think we go castration for him and therapy for the horse.
Yes. Okay. But that we go back to that whole furry thing. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe that's a fantasy.
Pony play. That's a thing.
I get it, but why not actually use, like, you know, one of the people that dress up as one and not an actual one?
Maybe he tried that first. It just didn't get him what he needed.
I guess. I mean, you really want your prostate stimulated.
Yep. So, there was a show I watched. I think it was like My Strange Addiction or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a woman who, she was in a pony play, and she's just trotting along inside this pen. She has like a harness on and the blinders and all that stuff, and her mare or whatever they call, was walking around like, come on, girl. And then they would go inside and have sex when she's still in like her stirrups and all that stuff.
Okay,
that's just the next step. Is
I mean, but I would rather see those people dressing up and doing it than actually using real animals. And like we have said before, you know, animals can't consent.
Yeah.
You know, at least those people who dress up as animals can consent. So it's a little different concept there.
I just had a weird thought. Do you think when a horse comes, it gallops? Or, like, it, like, smacks its hoof? Like, yes, I mean, sometimes you get really into it, and you're like, oh, you, like, start shaking, you're about to bust. Like, I'd imagine the horse probably has the same kind of thing, and it's just gonna, all of a sudden, as it's destroying this individual. Its hoofs just pop, 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 pop.
I don't know. I mean, you can look up one of those
I'm not
bestiality
looking it up.
videos
I'm just
if
saying.
you want to.
I'm just saying. People do weird things. I'm sure animals are the same. I mean, you threw out the thing about Peter Griffin having sex with Lois when she has her stroke. Like, so I also thought of it like that horse is going to town. He comes and then just collapses, and that guy's like squished underneath, like, help me.
I mean, yeah, I guess we all got our weird ticks. I think back in the day, my wife told me I had like that Elvis look, and like, my lip would just,
Yeah, see, that's all I'm saying.
All right.
Well, that just happened.
If you like what you heard, tune in next week to see what else we find.
Also, please leave a review, a like, and subscribe.
If there's something you think is interesting and would like us to address, then reach out to the show and let us know.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much anywhere you want to reach us.
And with that being said, this concludes our episode of Well, That Just Happened.